Hi everyone, this is Wayne Glabman with Ebsta. We're going to give a few minutes here just to allow everyone to join, and then we'll jump right into it. All right, looks like everyone's joined here, so wonderful. So again, my name is Wayne Glabman. I am Customer Success Director with Ebsta, and today we're going to be going through Ebsta Inbox for Gmail, right? So let me just share my screen and we'll just kind of just jump right into it. Perfect. Right, so inbox, right? So these are some daily webinars that, us at Ebsta we're running purely because we understand more and more people are working from home with this whole coronavirus thing going on. I myself am working from home right now. But, we just want to make sure that, as people are working from home, right, they're fully up to speed on the features that are available if they're using our inbox solution for Gmail, right? So this initiative is kind of a crash course, if you will, on getting set up, connected, and then using the various features available. A little about me. I'm, again, Customer Success Director. I handle all of MIA customers for Ebsta. My main goal is just to make sure our customers get the most value from Ebsta possible, right? So one of those efforts is running webinars like this, right? But we have a whole team of customer success reps. If I'm not your rep, whoever is assigned is always available to help. And then other people on the team are always able to pick up as well. Right, so the main core value of Ebsta, right, is we believe that relationships are the most important part of your business. And the inbox tool, right, is able to surface these relationships in your Chrome browser, whether you're in Gmail or LinkedIn, right, or just anywhere in Chrome. And today, kind of the agenda is, I'm just going to go through a quick getting started guide, just downloading, connecting, and then we're just going to jump right into a live training session, right? So quick start guide on Ebsta and getting connected, how to build automated sales workflows. That's our Cadence feature, how to track emails and monitor the open rates of those emails, right? How to access Salesforce templates, right? And then how to sync your emails and calendars into Salesforce. And then also, I'm just going to show you how to access Salesforce from anywhere in Chrome, right? And then finally, we're just going to do a quick helpful resources. And then I'm just going to run a Q&A at the end. So if you want to stick around at the end, feel free. You can type in your questions, and I'll just answer them on the fly, right? So first off, just getting started. We're available in the Chrome App Store. If you just literally in Chrome, if you just type in Ebsta for Salesforce, we'll be the first ones that come up. Once you download it in your Chrome browser, you just connect up Gmail and Salesforce, and then you're going to want to sync up your calendar. And then on out, if you open up a composed message in Gmail, you'll see these features on the bottom of the message, right? Which again, I'm going to be going through in a live demo here in a second. All right, now quick walkthrough of Ebsta Inbox. So let me just jump over here. Now, the first thing you want to do when you first install Ebsta Inbox into your Chrome browser, right, is you're probably not going to be logged in yet. So if you click on this, it'll tell you, very simple to do, you just click connect. And if you're logged into Salesforce in the same browser, it'll just come up just like this, right? Excuse me. So it'll tell you that you are connected, right? And then from here on out, what you have the ability to do is, for instance, LinkedIn, we could start off with. If you go to someone's profile on LinkedIn, like for instance, I'll go to Stephen Shaw, I know he exists, right? Ebsta will immediately search your Salesforce database to find a matching record, right? Now, Stephen Shaw is a contact against My Demo Services, right? Now, one of the main points that I always stress everyone gets familiar with whenever they're using Ebsta for the first time is a great habit to get into. Just get familiar with clicking on the blue bar, right? Because most people want to get to that record as soon as possible. One of the main value adds that Ebsta can provide is the ease of accessing Salesforce records, right? So as you land on a record in Salesforce or in Gmail, which I'm going to show you in a second, Ebsta, when we automatically search it and it appears in the blue bar, you can always access records from the bubble right here, right? Or what a lot of people like to do is, again, click on that blue bar and it'll take you straight to that record inside of Salesforce, right? This is, of course, opposed to toggling into Salesforce and searching. Now, if you get in the habit of clicking on that blue bar, I promise you, your workflow speeds up, and just the quickness of accessing and cycling through those records will become easy. Right, now, also a cool little trick, if you're anywhere in Chrome and you want to search the database and you see a bit of text, highlight that text, right click on it and do Ebsta search, and that'll force the blue bar to search whatever text that you find. Now, if we toggle over into Gmail, you'll see the functionality is relatively similar. For instance, if I open an email from someone that exists in my Salesforce org, right here, Lunamorphous, her information populates at the top, again, in that blue bar. So same exact functionality, right? Where you can click on that blue bar, interact with it, and stuff will come up right away. Right, same exact idea. You click on the blue bar here, you can get access to that same record. But it's meant to surface that information into the environment you spend most of your time. Of course, one of those being Gmail. Okay. Now, the same thing goes, for instance, if, say, Eleni, she emailed me, but she doesn't exist in my Salesforce, right? It tells me. Now, I can always add her by clicking on the bubble, go to add record, or you can click one of these, contact. And whatever information we have will just get parsed over. Right? So you can access that right away. Okay. Now, onto the fun part. We have a great amount of sales enablement tools available. Now, if you click on compose a message inside of Gmail, you're going to see all this available functionality at the bottom. Right? And the first thing that I want to make sure everyone would be aware of is a way to create automated sales workflows. Right? And one of the best ways to do that is our campaign feature. If you click on add to cadences and you go to new cadence, you're going to be prompted in our console to actually add in this information, right? Now, the main purpose of a cadence, right, is just to get a response. That's what we're trying to do. It's meant to foster a response because they're automated follow-ups that can actually be built off the back of the emails that you send, right? So you basically just name the cadence, right? And then you create your first email. Add email step. And you can build these cadences. The idea is to build the email as you would send it, right? Make it as personal as possible. So a lot of people, you could do hi, and then you can have merge fields. This is if you were to add multiple people to a cadence at once, right? Or if you have Salesforce email templates, you can import those directly into the body of the email, right? But once you're happy with how this email looks, you click save. And then you do add step, and here's where you can actually start defining the logic. So you can say, if no response to this email, in 3 days, I want it to send this email, right? We'll just throw in another template in there. You click save. And what you can start doing is you can start building these cadences. A lot of my customers will do 5 emails, maybe 6 emails deep, right? But they're just meant as follow-ups, automatic follow-ups. So if you're regularly adding people to cadences every single day, your email output will basically exponentially increase because Ebsta in the back end will be following up with these people based on if a response is received, right? And then once a response is received, that individual is removed from the cadence, right? So the idea of these cadences, it's in no way meant to spam people. It's meant to start those conversations and from you as a user to make it easier for you to reach out to these people regularly, right? So in my role, customer success, I like to stay engaged with people. So I'm pretty much making cadences all the time, educational cadences so they can know about our new features. If we're running these webinars, just put people on cadences to make them aware, stuff like that. From a sales perspective, right? Prospecting, it's invaluable, right? Now, one also final trick with cadences, right, is when you're building these, one thing I always recommend is, you build as many emails as you want into the Cadence. But another cool feature of these Cadences is it can create automatic task creation, right? So when you go to add another step, instead of just adding an email step, do the check mark. And this prompts you to how you want the task to be created. Now, what this task will do is I'll put in their description. So I'll say call, right? And basically what this is doing is if someone got to the very end of my Cadence, that means they haven't responded to any of those emails. So what I want to know is I want to make sure I'm aware of that. I want to make sure I know that these specific recipients have not responded so that I can prompt myself to call them, or you can even put in there, connect on LinkedIn, or just some way to get a conversation started. But what I don't want to do is forget that, that they added them to the Cadence. You want to keep them in my line of sight, really, right? But once that looks good, you click save, and you can have that task created. Right? So again, these Cadences are designed to get a response. That's what we're trying to do, right? And once you have these Cadences created, you click save. And then the Cadence will be stored, right? And now, as a user, once you have this Cadence created, you can start adding people to Cadences. So for instance, I got an email here from Luna, right? And instead of just emailing her back, because I could just send one email, I could actually just want to add Luna to a Cadence because I want to get a conversation started, right? So I could go to this, add to Cadence, click on my most recently created Cadence here. Her information will populate at the top, but say I wanted to add multiple people to this Cadence, right? I can go to add recipients. I could either build a list, add people in here. I can access a Salesforce view, so a contact or lead list, or if you're using Job Science or Talent Rover or some other, it might be contact or hot lists, whatever you're using. But you can pull from specific lists inside of Salesforce and import directly. Or probably what I like to do is upload a CSV doc. So this is an Excel doc. It just needs to be saved as a CSV. That's really important. And then if you just follow these specific CSV format requirements, which includes headers and stuff like that for those merge fields. Right? But once you have the file, you can upload it into this area. And we have a maximum of 500 at a time. That's a Gmail limit. So I like to, kind of elaborate and say that, I always recommend doing 50 to 100 at a time at the very most, right? Because again, we're not trying to spam people. We want to be very targeted with these campaigns. Okay. And you should also know, these emails, as you're sending them, you can add them to Salesforce with this button. You can delay send at the beginning of the Cadence with this button right here. So if you're working on a Friday and you want that Cadence to begin first thing Monday, you schedule the Cadence to begin on that day. Right? And of course, all these emails are going to be tracked. We have enhanced email tracking on all the emails that you send manually or these Cadences. Okay. And then of course, to manage all these Cadences, if you go to manage Cadences up here, it takes you right to the console where you see all the Cadences have been created. And then you also see, if you click on the people tab, you have the ability to access everyone who's been added to a Cadence. So in the event, say someone just calls you and say, hey, I got your email and I want to book a meeting. Obviously they didn't respond to the email, so they wouldn't naturally be taken off, but you can easily search their email address here, find their name, click on it, and just remove them from the Cadence as they're still active in it. There's an action caret that appears right here. Okay. And then also this add to Cadence section isn't just available in Gmail. It's available in Salesforce as well, right? So if you go into Salesforce and you go to any contact or lead list, like what I'm at right here, you have this add to Ebsta Cadence button. If you click on that, you'll see something that looks relatively similar to what you saw in Gmail, right? You can select a Cadence and then same exact scenario you have, right? Where you can easily add people. And also a cool little trick, if you have checkboxes available in Salesforce, which is a Salesforce configuration, if you check off the specific people you want to add to a Cadence, and you go to add the Cadence, those two recipients will be selected. Now, beyond all this, again, all these emails are being tracked, right? So that takes us to, if we go back into Gmail, that takes us right to here. Now, again, if this is your first time using Ebsta, you're probably going to want to turn on the tracking icon, and that's this icon right here. So on your very first email that you send, make sure you toggle that on so it's highlighted. And then when you send your email, that button will stay on. That ensures that we're going to be tracking all communication. So we're going to understand if they're opening emails, how many times, if they're clicking on links, right? And then we can also pull a tracking analysis report. So you can see this across the board. So as you track more and more emails, if you click on the satellite dish icon in the blue bar right up top here, I already have Lunamorphous selected because that's the email that I'm on, and it shows me all the previous emails I've sent. And if I click on each one, it expands open. I can see Luna actually viewed this email at this time on a desktop. This one as well on desktop at this time. This one she viewed on a mobile device. She even clicked on the link that I had in an email right here. And if I want to see kind of a more broader view of all these tracked emails, I go to tracking analysis right here, which again will take me to the console, and it'll take me to the optimized section. And here I can get a tracking analysis report. So what you can actually see is this is your own report, right? This is your unopened versus open email ratio that you're going to find. And then you can also see which subject lines are performing the best, which Salesforce email templates, if you're sending Salesforce templates, which cadences, which I just went over, which cadences are performing the best for you, and then which links get the highest click rate, right? And this aspect is meant to be collaborative. So what you can actually do is if you go up to the top, you can click on all users, and you can see the report for the whole company, or you can see it for individuals if you want to do a team search, right? But the idea is if you do all users, right, you can see what subject lines people are sending that are performing the best across the whole company, again, which templates, and which campaigns, right? This is important because what you can actually do is if you see a campaign that's performing really well, and you want to go in and you want to actually use that campaign, you can actually just go to the Cadences button on the left-hand side, find the cadence that you like, and when you open it up, you're going to have an option to clone. And you can clone that cadence, make it your own, and then start using that. Right? Wonderful. So the next thing beyond email tracking is going to be Salesforce email templates. And these are templates that are stored in Salesforce. So of course, Ebsta is only going to pull what's available. But if you're sending an email and you have an email template that you use a lot that you save, very simple to do. You're just in the body of the email. You click on this button right here, Salesforce email templates. You choose the one that you want, imports directly into the body of the email. Right, so you can quickly send those, access them, and send them. Okay. The other aspect of this is email syncing and calendar syncing, right? Now from this interface right here, you do have the ability to still add emails to Salesforce, kind of ad hoc. So as you're sending them, you can add them with this button, right? And you can either send the email immediately, or if you click add on send, it just waits till you actually click the send button to actually add it as an activity. But say if you want to set up a direct sync, so all your emails go into Salesforce automatically against the appropriate records into activity history, right? Now this is something, if this is something you want to do, I would advise you speaking to your admin and then speaking to the customer success rep at Ebsta so we can properly set it up and make sure it's a, because when we talk about every email, it is every email that goes in, right? So we want to make sure, you know, that's something you do want to do inside the Salesforce org. But to set it up, it's relatively simple. You just click on the Ebsta icon right here. And that console we were going to before, the quickest way to get to it is if you click on the settings icon right here, and then you go to access to control panel. This will take you to the console area. And then if you click on settings at the bottom left, and then you go to email sync right here. Now, most likely your admin will have already set this up where he's configured all this information. So as a user, you would just have access to this mailbox functionality, and you would just add in your Gmail mailbox, and that would connect it up. Right? And then the other thing that involved with syncing is calendar syncing. Now we have one of the best calendar sync technologies on the market right now, right? So we always recommend people sync up their calendars. That means that the meetings that you book on your Gmail calendar, if the invitees are related to records inside of Salesforce, those will show up as events in the activity history inside of Salesforce. It's great for tracking and reporting, right? So if you click on settings, as a user, any user can set up their own calendar sync. They just do settings, and then under sync, they have calendar sync right here. And as a Gmail user, you just select this, right? And it's gonna prompt you to log in. Just wants to allow. And then it just asks you which calendar. It's a bidirectional sync, syncs up every 5 minutes, right? So if anything changes on either end, we update. And if you click add settings with preview, you'll see here. These are all the events on my Google Calendar going to Salesforce. I currently don't have anything in Salesforce, so it won't go to Google. There's nothing to go to Google, right? But it gives you, it basically, a viewpoint of what's going to be synced in. Right, and this is a one-time sync. Once you set it up, there's nothing else that needs to be done. You just sync it up and you should be all set. But again, if this is something we want to set up, I recommend speaking to your Salesforce admin and then also just your designated customer success rep, and we'll get you sorted. Okay. Some other key features of Ebsta that are available. You do have the ability to send later with emails. So as you're sending just manual emails, you can click on this little clock icon, choose the time, right? Click schedule. And then when you click send, it'll get saved as a draft. And then also you have the ability to access a calendar booking link. Right, so this is great for booking meetings. Instead of having the back and forth and trying to figure out, when the best time is, you can actually give the recipient the ability to see your available time slots on your calendar. Again, if it's the first time using Ebsta, if you click on this and you go to insert calendar link, it'll probably just direct you to the console, and it'll prompt you to turn it on. So you just want to toggle it as live on. But then there's a few things you could do to configure it. Right, there's a booking period. So standard booking period is 30 minutes for people booked through the link. I want 15 minutes padding, so I'm not getting booked back to back. Minimum versus max advance notice, I want to allow people to have. And then if there's only a certain window of your calendar that you want to show, you could designate that here. Obviously, if there's already stuff on your calendar, we're not going to be double booking. It doesn't give details of what your bookings are. It just shows availabilities. The calendar page, when they actually click on the link, you can customize it. And then also when they actually find a time, this is what you require from them, right? And you can also add fields here. So for instance, purpose of call, if you wanted to put that in, right? But once that's all set and you're sending an email, you could just click insert calendar link. They'll send them this. User clicks on it, right? And this is what they see, right? So they can just choose a time that works for them. Okay. Now back to the PowerPoint we have here. So just some takeaways, right? So building personalized cadences. These cadences automate your follow-ups and tasks. You can do this from Gmail and Salesforce. Tracking emails in real time, right? So seeing who's opening emails, how many times, looking at that tracking analysis report. Right, so you understand what's working and what's not. Effortlessly scheduling meetings with that calendar link, right? Sending emails at the best time by scheduling emails in the future, right? And then actually a quick access to Salesforce records with that blue bar, right? And then the ability to capture emails and calendar invites automatically with that syncing. Okay. And then finally, just some helpful information. We have some really good knowledge-based articles. You'll get this information after this call. But we work with Gmail. It just requires a Salesforce login. Standard is $30 per mailbox a month. Download directly from Chrome. We've got some knowledge-based articles here. We have a whole bunch of YouTube videos that go over just exactly what I'm speaking to you right here. And then we have a dedicated team, people like myself that are always ready to help, right? And then after this webinar, you're going to get a recording. And then we have a full round-the-clock support team, support@ebsta.com if you have technical queries. Okay. Now next is Q&A. Let me open it up here. So if you have questions, feel free to type it in there and I can answer away. Okay. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, one more thing I will share here, just so everyone's aware. At any time, you can reach me at WayneGlavin@ebsta.com. Again, I'm customer success director, so I head up all of EMEA, but I'm always helping the States as well. I'm from the States, if you don't tell by my accent, but again, we're running these webinars pretty regularly during this situation that's going on. We just want to make sure that our customers are fully aware of the capabilities. We help them be as productive as possible during this time. I know it's a very uncertain time, but please reach out to me with questions, any troubleshooting inquiries. If you need to have a personalized training like this, please let me know, and you can email me directly. But other than that, I really appreciate you joining the webinar today, and please stay safe out there and wash your hands. But take it easy, everyone. Thank you.